Welcome to Cat the Minion YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Cat. This is Adventures with Plastic Crack Mini Notes, and we are asking the question, is Midge getting a bad rap? In the Barbie movie, the only Midge they have is the pregnant Happy Family Midge from 2002. The running joke is, ew, pregnant. So creepy they discontinued her, while completely ignoring that Ken's buddy Alan appearing in the movie was Midge's boyfriend. Spelled A-L-L-A-N. I mean, it was pretty cool of Midge to come back repeatedly to hang out with Barbie over the decades, despite that she kept getting replaced. Midge Hadley, Barbie Millicent Roberts' best friend, was released in 1963 in Blonde, Brunette, and Redhead. Her blue eyes faced front, and she had freckles and a flip hairstyle with bangs. She had the same body as Barbie and shared her clothes. Midge stuck by Barbie through the articulation upgrade to bendable legs in 1965, but after the twist and turn mod revolution in 1967, she was replaced by Francie, British chum Stacy, Casey, Steffi spelled S-T-E-F-F-I-E, Jamie, Kelly spelled K-E-L-L-E-Y, Cara, and Christy, but she was specifically replaced by PJ, who stole her face and had blonde pigtails. As soon as Steffi was on the shelf, PJ stole her face and continued to use it through the mid-1980s. But after an absence of about 20 years, Midge had her revenge and took back her place and stole PJ's Steffi face. 1988 California Dream Midge, and then 1989 Cool Times Midge. She maintained her freckles from back in the day for the first few years. You might say that PJ was replaced by Whitney, and even though Brunette Whitney and Redheaded Midge overlapped from 1988 to 1989, with brief appearances in Venezuela in 1990 as Aquamagic Whitney, yes, misspelled, and in Europe in 1992 as Ultra Hair Whitney. To make things more confusing, Barbie's brunette Latina friend, Teresa, took the Steffi face from 1990 to 1992, thus completing a friend quadrangle that ultimately shifted from a PJ/Teresa combo in 1985 to a Midge/Teresa combo that was strong throughout the 1990s. Barbie's band Barbie and the Rockers were issued in 2 sets in 1986 and again in 1987, with all new friends Derek, Dee Dee, Dana, and Diva. The red-headed bandmate Diva was discontinued in the USA after 1987, but made a brief appearance in 1989 as Dance Club Kayla. And then Midge stole her face for the next 20 years, starting in 1990 with Barbie and the All-Stars Midge and Barbie and the Beat Midge. Alan made a brief reappearance in 1991 with his name now spelled A-L-A-N. He still had red hair and shared the same body as Ken, but he had his own brand new face. They'd been together since 1964, and Midge and Alan were finally getting married. The Wedding Day series was massive and included multiple sets with 6 characters total. The next year, a series was planned for Midge and Alan to have twin newborn babies, a girl and a boy. This set was not produced, but the prototypes appeared in the 1992 World of Barbie pamphlets as inserted into the doll boxes that were sold on store shelves. Alan disappeared entirely again until 2002, which is just as well because Ken immediately stole his face and used it from 1992 until 2006. We need a bit of context for Midge and Alan's kids, so we're going to take the time machine back to 1974. Mattel made a couple series of vinyl dolls with hard plastic eyes that were translucent and made to look like glass or crystal. They were slightly smaller scale, being only 9 inches tall, the same height as Barbie's little sister Skipper. The set we're concerned with is a very earthy, folksy, hippie family set of white dolls called the Sunshine Family. They liked to garden, and their accessories were all in earth tones like muted yellow, dusky green, and brown. The family was made up of the father called Steve, the mom Steffi, here spelled S-T-E-P-H-I-E, and their little baby Sweets. From 1976 to 1978, Mattel expanded the series to include an essentially identical African-American family called the Happy Family. These were Hal, Hattie, and baby Hun, H-O-N. The Sunshines and the Happies got a set of grandparents, and then Sweets and Hun were turned into little girls, and they each got a new baby brother. This idea was reused in 1985 when Mattel started making the Hart family. Barbie's married friends were the same scale, using Barbie and Ken bodies with rings painted on their left hands. In 1980, Mattel made a set of teen dolls, which was later retreated as Barbie's cousin Jazzy and Friends. The 1980 set was Star, Tracy, Kelly, also spelled Kelley, and the guy Sean. Mrs. Hart stole Kelly's face, and then Jazzy claimed it back for teendom in 1989. Mr. Hart used the Superstar Ken face from 1976, since Ken got his own new face in 1983. Mr. and Mrs. Hart started out with twin toddler babies, a boy and a girl. Sound familiar? The Hart children never had names of their own, even though many of their little baby friends and cousins that were later sold did. These Hart toddlers used molds from Mattel's 1977 Rosebud line of baby dolls. This time the African American set came out at the same time, and Black Mrs. Hart used the Steffi face, and Black Mr. Hart used the Black Ken face from 1983, which had a molded afro, but he was switched to the Steven head mold in 1988. The next year, in 1986, Mrs. Hart was quote-unquote pregnant with their new arrival in her maternity overdress that ballooned out in the front. After she quote-unquote had the baby, you would take off the puffy extra layer and then tie her ribbon tightly at her waist over her basic dress. The newborn baby had a new face, but it used Little Sweet's body from 1974. This new arrival baby was used in all Mattel baby sets through 1993 and showed up here and there after that even. A pair of grandparents for the Hart family were produced in 1987, but only for the white dolls. We see that Mattel had planned to rerun a parent and baby series in 1992 with Midge and Alan. The Hart-style toddler friends were sold as singles in the early 1990s in Europe and India, and made one last appearance in the Teacher Barbie sets in 1995 as the little students that she came with. Then they were wholesale replaced by Barbie's baby sister Kelly and all her little friends. Mattel briefly tried to run a newborn baby series with Barbie's new tiny baby sister Chrissy around the year 2000, but maybe she had a congenital health issue because she disappeared in infancy. Finally, in 2002, Mattel reissued The Happy Family, now Midge and Alan, with black and white dolls in the series. This is where we encounter the incredibly scandalous plastic belly of pregnant Midge that held her skinny torso with magnets, and the new little newborn baby folded up to fit inside the belly. White Midge had the diva head mold, but Black Midge stole Teen Skipper's face, making her essentially a Nikki. However, Happy Family also stole Nikki's name and used it for Midge's older baby Nikki, who had a new face and body. So she had a newborn baby and a slightly older baby. And they had a toddler son, Ryan, who used the 1995 Kelly molds. Alan got a new intensely caffeinated super grin, and this time his hair was brown instead of red. The first African American Alan used the same face. They did make grandparents for everyone in this series, though they only made new face molds for White Midge's parents and used existing African American Mattel faces for Black Midge's parents. As far as I can tell, after the grandparents and a bunch of family and little baby friend sets, they discontinued Family Life again around 2005. At the very end of the line, they switched White Midge's diva face out for Teen Skipper as well, basically turning her into Skipper's friend Courtney. Midge was a staple in groups of Barbie and her friends in the 1990s. Ski Fun, Sea Holiday, Earring Magic, Camp, Naf Naf, Dance Moves, Hot Skatin' or Winter Sport, Slumber Party, Inline Skating, and Jewel Hair Mermaid. She did kind of drop off starting around 1997. From 1990 to 1993, Jazzy was an extra in the yearly beach line of Barbies. Picking up where Jazzy left off from 1999 to 2002, Midge was the extra friend in the beach line, which helped keep her around for a while longer. After the Happy Family debacle, Midge faded away again until 2013's Barbie Life in the Dream House. She reappeared for a couple of dolls in this line with a gorgeous Steffi face, bright red hair, freckles, big cartoony eyes, and rooted lashes. She seems to have faded into the ether again outside of some nostalgic reproduction sets. I personally felt kind of miffed that the only representation of Midge was the pregnant one in the movie. I mean, they had pound puppies where you opened up the side of the dog to take the puppies out. So I don't understand why people were so tweaked about Midge having a pregnant belly. and a baby coming out of it. I know that they can't include everything in the film story because it would get too complex and off topic, but I felt like I needed to stand up for Midge and give her back her laurels because she was there in the beginning. She was super active, and she got relegated to a stringy-haired, bad makeup, frumpy, ugly dress set from the beginning of a decline period in 2002, and I don't think she deserves that. I don't think that's fair. So I'm going to give Midge back her props and point out that she is kick-ass and is her very own person and is not just a womb. How apropos is that? Thank you for watching. Stay connected with Cat the Minion energy work. Check out my complete suite of goods and services conveniently from my Linktree. linktr.ee/cattheminion. Color your way into some relaxation with my coloring books Energy Forms and Draco Forms on Amazon. Get groovy with fashion and home accessories from my Cafe Press or Redbubble shops. Decorate your environment with original art and divination tools from my Etsy shop.